Welcome to the Better Mind Center's YouTube channel. For those of you that are new here, the Better Mind Center is a group of mind body oriented therapists and coaches who help clients recover from chronic pain, anxiety, and depression. We are excited to be with you for our Troubleshooting Your Technique series. In this series, we'll dive deeper into traditional mind body recovery tools. We'll share new perspectives and techniques for you to try during your recovery journey. Today, we are going to be talking about the common experience of I know that I'm safe. I'm telling myself that I'm safe. Why are my neuroplastic symptoms still here? Uh, my name is Rachel Moores.
I'm Alexandra.
So, Alexandra, is this a common experience for you? Have you ever had people talk about this experience of why is nothing happening? I'm using all these messages of safety and it doesn't seem to be working?
Yes, this feels so common just in the frequency in which it comes up. Variety of sensations, people's amount of time with the chronic symptoms. It feels like it doesn't discriminate, that this is one of those sticky points for people that comes up time and again.
Yes, yes. So, if you have ever had the experience of telling your brain, this is neuroplastic and nothing happens or nothing seems to change, or sometimes it even can get worse, like the pain can get worse. Why does this happen? Um, so often people think like I've spent so much time learning about the mind body connection, learning about neuroplastic symptoms. And everyone says that piece is so important. You have to understand that there's nothing wrong. And you have to understand that my body is safe, that this is neuroplastic pain, so that you can calm down the part of you that's afraid. Um, and so, if we do that, if we're using those top down messages of safety, why does the pain stick around? Why do some people read John Sarno or Alan Gordon and have a book cure? And here the rest of us are knowing everything about neuroplastic pain and still feeling like they're hurting. So it is a really common challenge and question for people doing the work of recovering from neuroplastic symptoms. I call this space, this I get it, but I don't feel better. I call this work bridging the gap. We are bridging the gap between a cognitive or an intellectual understanding of neuroplastic pain to a somatic or an embodied understanding. Um, so often, for the majority of people who are recovering from chronic symptoms, bridging the gap is a major part of the work and of their recovery. So, what this is about is showing your body and your brain that you're safe, not just telling your body or your brain that you're safe.
Yes, I love that phrasing, bridging the gap. And to circle back, we love a book here when it works, and it feels like that's the exception, not the rule. And it can feel really tricky when folks are hearing these examples and these stories of what am I missing? What am I doing wrong? And when those feelings are there, we could also fall into this other pitfall around I should be feeling this. I know this. I should, right? It should be connecting. And we start feeling a lot of pressure, and those messages of safety or telling ourselves the things we know start to sound pretty harsh and urgent and frustrated. And then it feels really tricky to feel safe when those messages are colored by frustration, disappointment, confusion. So I
Yeah.
think to your point, Rachel, telling isn't enough, knowing isn't just enough. How do we bring in that felt sense? And so I think where we see this a lot, right? Someone will come in and they're like, I know this, and there's some judgment and frustration, right? It's like when you're angry and someone comes up to you and it's like, stop being angry. Like, what? It usually makes you feel worse. Your anger increases. And now we're also frustrated because there's been a relational disconnect.
Yeah.
We're sort of spiraling and we're getting further away from safety. We're still angry, and now we're feeling bad about feeling angry, and we're frustrated that we're feeling this way. And we're not getting
We're
closer.
mad at the person who just told us to stop being angry.
Exactly. Whatever the impetus was, it's now like grown tenfold. And that's similar to what's happening in our brains, right? When we know that, like, we know how we're feeling, we have a chronic symptom, we know that we're safe. We know that this is neuroplastic. I know there's nothing wrong, but we're still experiencing the symptoms, right? It's so similar to that don't be angry messaging that we're sending. It's easy to fall into that frustration and criticism when we're safe. You should know that we're safe. Why am I still having symptoms? Right? Sort of reinforces that's not really a message of safety anymore. It's not landing and our body's not absorbing it with good reason because it doesn't feel safe. There's criticism, there's that pressure, that urgency present. And so in those moments, we need to pivot, switching from trying to just like double down on telling and telling and telling, because that's not accessible to the body. So, how do we do that? How do we incorporate? I love how you phrase this, the language of the body, so that we can feel that.
Yes, yes, exactly. I love that you name it. That is a moment to pivot. Because I'll tell you, Alexandra, when you said don't be angry, I felt my body just like, tighten up. And I think that's what happens for so many folks when we're saying, I get this, you're safe, but it just feels like pressure. It just feels like you're saying don't be angry. So one way to pivot here is to look at how are we delivering this message? What does it sound like to tell that message in a showing, in a demonstrating safety kind of way? Um, so what does the tone sound like when we deliver that message, and why does that matter? So um, let me just do a little example with you here of this. So if someone ever asks you like, "Are you okay?" and you say, "I'm fine," and we all know we're not fine. There's something going on. So, what does it actually sound like to say, I'm fine, I'm okay? So, let me do it instead of that, I'm fine, I'm fine. Listen to this now. I am fine. I'm okay right now. Notice the way my demeanor, my voice, the prosody of my voice, and the speed at which I was speaking changed. Notice I put my hand on my heart, my body language, and what I was doing with my body changed. Um, that gentle touch, that softer tone, the warmth and the acceptance there. I hope that is conveyed. Um, this is how we start to show our bodies that we're safe. It's not the I'm telling you. It's the like coming up, putting our arm around ourselves as like a friend and saying, "You're okay right now. You're safe."
That is so beautiful, Rachel. I felt myself sort of take a breath and slow down as you switched your tone of voice and your body language. I felt myself drop in that moment as well.
Ooh, yay! The power of mirror neurons. um, Yes. So that can be such a big pivot in this way of, just starting to relate to ourselves with more softness, with more lightness, where we start to use our tone of voice or our body language to show, hey, it's okay. The way, a close friend or someone would come and like treat you or speak to you. Um, the other big pivot that I want to name here is about time. So our mind works so fast, lightning speed, and it is way faster than our body. So, oftentimes when we're getting these messages of safety, we get it so fast up here. We're already there. We're actually like a mile ahead. But our body, it takes some time for that to catch up to the message. So, I want to share a little personal example of this uh, of how it takes our bodies time to catch up to the sense of safety when we know that actually we're safe. So, when I was experiencing a lot of shoulder pain still in graduate school, I was going to a like candlelit yin yoga class. So, a really relaxing yoga class where it was really calm, like dark lighting, candles, like the whole thing. And it wasn't a hard, intense class. It was more about stretching and slowing down and just like having a really nice, juicy, rejuvenating uh, stretch. So I was coming from campus and I had about 20 minutes to get to the class. And if I didn't get there in time, this studio is the kind of studio where they shut the door. If you're there late, you cannot go into the class because they don't want to interrupt the other participants. So I'm sitting there in traffic, looking at the time, looking at that I'm wearing my clothes from campus and I need to put on my yoga clothes, and looking at the traffic in front of me, and my knuckles are white. And I am just getting so stressed out because I didn't want to miss this class. It was something I was going to take good care of myself. I wanted to get there on time. I end up making it to the class with like 1 minute to spare. I changed my clothes like at a light in the car. And once I got to the class, you know, I heard like the gentle music playing. Um, the lights are down. Everyone's like lying on their yoga mats. And I get in there in like a tussle and I'm like lie down on my yoga mat and like my nostrils are flaring and I'm like just like completely stressed out. And here, my brain, like I knew I'm in a safe situation. I made it into the class. I'm not late. I'm actually here. I'm safe. I got there. Yet my body was a wrapped up little ball of stress because of how important it was to me to not miss the class and the stress and the strain of I don't want to be late. So I was in that class, I'm participating. It took me, Alexandra, probably 20 minutes before I actually started to settle down and to feel like, okay, like I'm here, I made it, not that strain of I'm going to be late. Um, and this is what I see so commonly is that we get into the yoga class, we get to the space of I've made it, I'm safe. And our bodies are like, no, you're not. Human run the line. Our bodies are still carrying all that strain and all those danger messages because of wherever we just came from. So I think the other pivot here when we talk about feeling safe, like, getting our brain to catch up to our body to catch up to our brain is give it time for us to feel, to do the stretch, to do whatever else is feeling good for us so that from the bottom up, we're going, oh, I made it into the class. Oh, I'm safe right now. Oh, that feels good. That's how we can help bridge the gap.
What a relatable example, Rachel. Because I often think people will try to get to a yoga class or get to a massage or do things that they know are good for them or are calming, but then we got off work late or traffic was horrible or there was a detour. And then we show up and we're like, this thing that I know is good for me didn't feel the way that it was supposed to or the way that I was hoping it would. And so hearing you say we need like lots of opportunities to practice this, to really allow our bodies time to feel, to settle into whatever experience we're trying to give it so that it can really soak up that felt sense of calm or safety or presence in a different way. And that isn't an instant gratification correlation all the time.
Yeah. Oh, I love the way you say that. Yeah, it is not an instant thing at all. It takes some time to catch up. Oh, amazing. Well, Alexandra, it's so fun to talk with you about this. I know it's such a common experience, and we want to hear from you guys. So, have you ever experienced this disconnect, this, brain body has not caught up to the brain message before, um, where it took you some time to feel safe, even though intellectually you knew that you were? We would love for you to share your experience, things that have helped you with that in the comment section below. Thank you again so much for joining us. If you are looking for one on one support or you would like to stay connected with us, please reach out to us at bettermindcenter.com or on Instagram at better.with.christy, or subscribe to our channel to watch other videos. The links are also down below. Until next time.